Hello everybody, my name is Alan Papijos and I'm one of the senior reading staff at B-GHUD. I'm here with another video on OET reading where I'm going to deal with MCQs. So first of all, I'm going to tell you what my plan is. In this video, I will be explaining certain multiple choice questions, and when I say I will be explaining, I mean I'm going to explain the question, the paragraph and every option. I'll try to make you all understand why a particular option is the answer for a question and why the other options are wrong. So let's get started. But before I show you the questions, before I start explaining the questions, I'm going to explain the strategy of solving MCQs from both Part B and Part C briefly, like I always do. Alright, so first of all, whenever you try to solve a multiple choice question, you need to start from the question. That's what I recommend. It is because you will know why you need to read the paragraph. You will be getting a direction there. So after reading the question, just go for the paragraph, read it and get or develop an overall idea from the paragraph, which should be connected with the options. And whenever you go through the options, make sure you read every option because every option stands a chance of becoming the right answer. And moreover, you should make sure that every wrong option has been eliminated before you finalize the correct answer. So now let's get started with the questions. I'm going to show you the first question now, which is relatively a simple question, which you will find on the screen right now. You may pause the video right now to solve the question. You may set the time for 2 minutes or 3 minutes according to your convenience and try to solve the question before you hear the explanation for it. So I'm going to explain the question right now. So the first question asks, according to the paragraph, semaglutide. So let's go through the paragraph right now. Heart failure patients have weakened hearts, but researchers say an experimental drug used for the first time in humans may repair heart cells and improve heart function. According to the results of a small phase 1 trial, a single intravenous infusion of the drug semaglutide was safe and at high doses improved heart function for at least 3 months. So we have read the paragraph, and the paragraph is all about an experimental drug called semaglutide, and they say there is an improvement in heart function because of this particular drug. And last portion says a single intravenous infusion of drug semaglutide was safe and at high doses improved heart function for at least 3 months. അപ്പോൾ ഈ പാരഗ്രാഫ് മൊത്തത്തിൽ നോക്കുമ്പോൾ എക്സ്പെരിമെൻ്റൽ ഡ്രഗ് ആയ സിമഗ്ലോമിനെ പറ്റിയാണ് പറയുന്നത്. അത് കാരണമുണ്ടായ ഒരു ഇംപ്രൂവ്മെൻറ്റിനെ പറ്റി സംസാരിക്കുന്നുണ്ട്. So now we need to go through the options to find out what the right answer is. And for that, we need to first of all recognize those options that are wrong. So anyway, let's go through the options now. So the first option says, according to the paragraphs, semaglutide is safe when used in high doses. High doses is safe on. Do we have such an information here? Let's analyze the paragraph once again. In the last part, we may see an information that can be connected to this. A single intravenous infusion of drug semaglutide was safe. A single intravenous infusion. They are not mentioning any rate of dose there. So we don't know if it is a high dose or a low dose. They simply say a single intravenous infusion. Or a single intravenous infusion, that is safe was safe. In high doses, improved heart function for at least 3 months. At least 3 മാസത്തേക്കെങ്കിലും improved heart function ഉണ്ടെന്നും പറയുന്നുണ്ട്. High doses improved heart function ഉണ്ട്, പക്ഷേ അത് എപ്പോഴും high doses safe ആയിരിക്കും എന്നൊരു ഇൻഫർമേഷൻ അവിടെ ഉണ്ടോ? No, we don't have such an information here. But option A says it is safe when used in high doses. High doses il upayogichale adu safe avatullu. Low doses il adu safe alla ennoru meaning chalappo namakku ainathonnu manasilakki edukam. So we don't have any such information here. So they simply say it is safe in a single infusion, intravenous infusion, but we don't know if it is a low dose or a high dose. But they say at high doses, heart functions in a better manner, and that lasts for at least 3 months. So option A is not really right. Option B says, now the second option says, semaglutide improves heart function indefinitely. Yes, it improves heart function according to the paragraph. Paragraph which നോക്കുമ്പോൾ അത് improve ചെയ്യുന്നുണ്ട് heart function. But does it improve it indefinitely? Indefinitely, what do you mean by indefinitely? That means forever. So the herd is going to function in a better manner forever. There is no definite period of time there. Is that the information we have in the paragraph? No, it's not. They say the heart function will improve for at least 3 months. So it's a limited period, it's a definite period given there. So it's a contradiction. B is also wrong. Now the third option. According to the paragraph, semaglutide is undergoing trials. Or in other words, you may say is being experimented. Let's go through the paragraph to know if it stands a chance or not. Heart failure patients have weakened hearts, but researchers say an experimental drug used for the first time in humans may repair heart cells and improve heart function. So it is still an experimental drug. So it is still being trialed. So it's undergoing trial. So we can't eliminate option C because it has got a chance there. Let's move through option D now. Option D says, according to the paragraph, semaglutide is used in high doses. Again, it's kind of similar to the first one. Is used in high doses? Who told you that? Is there any such information? They simply say at high doses, it's going to help the heart function in a better manner for at least 3 months. Does it mean it is always or it has to be always used at high doses? We don't really have such concrete evidence to support that particular statement. So option D also cannot be right. So your answer for the question is C. According to the paragraph, semaglutide is undergoing trials. So now let's discuss the second question, which again you can find on the screen. So like you did before, please pause the video for 2 minutes or 3 minutes, which whatever time you have set there, and try to solve it. So the second question is, the clinical trial is, I'm going to read the paragraph right now. The heading says, developing diagnostic tests for respiratory disease using sound measurement and machine learning techniques, clinical trial. This study is designed to develop accurate digital diagnostic tests used on smart device for common respiratory illness in children and adults including asthma, croup, bronchiolitis, COPD and pneumonia. These tests can then be used in resource-poor communities, emergency departments or via telehealth applications. The aim is to develop tests that are as accurate as an expert clinical assessment but do not need a clinical examination or other investigations such as X-rays to be performed. So they have literally explained the objective of developing these tests there in the middle portion. Then it continues, patients with a history of chronic respiratory condition or who have symptoms of an acute respiratory disease are included. Patients will be excluded if they have an inability to provide a cough either spontaneously or voluntarily, are unable to provide informed consent or assent, have severe respiratory distress including the use of CPAP or BIPAP, or have had abdominal or eye surgery within 3 months. So in the last portion, they are talking about those people who can be included and who will be excluded. So now let's go through the options. The first option says, open to people with severe respiratory symptoms. Is it? No, it is not. Because first of all, in the first portion, they say they're talking about common respiratory illness in children. They're dealing with common respiratory illness. So it's not just about severe respiratory symptoms. That's the first reason why option A cannot be right. Option A ശരിയാകാൻ പാടില്ലാത്തതിൻ്റെ ഒന്നാമത്തെ കാരണം ഓപ്ഷൻ എയിൽ പറയുന്നു സിവിയർ റെസ്പിറേറ്ററി സിംറ്റംസ് ആണെന്നാണ്. പക്ഷേ നമ്മൾ ഈ പാരഗ്രാഫിൽ സെക്കൻഡ് ലൈനിൽ അവർ ഡീൽ ചെയ്യുന്നുണ്ട് കോമൺ റെസ്പിറേറ്ററി ഇൽനെസസ് ഇൻ ചിൽഡ്രൻ. ഇനിയും ലാസ്റ്റ് പോർഷനിലോട്ട് വരുമ്പം towards the end of the paragraph where they are talking about the people who have to be excluded, they say people who are unable to provide informed consent or assent have severe respiratory distress including the use of certain things like CPAP or BIPAP or have had abdominal or eye surgery within 3 months. So those people who have got severe respiratory issues will be excluded from these tests. So option A is totally wrong because it's contradicting with the information given in the paragraph. So now let's move on to option B, where it says the clinical trial is exploring new ways to confirm a person has a respiratory disorder. So what does it mean? ഒരു മനുഷ്യൻ അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഒരാൾക്ക് റെസ്പിറേറ്ററി ഡിസോർഡർ ഉണ്ടോ ഇല്ലയോ എന്നുള്ള കാര്യം കൺഫേം ചെയ്യാൻ വേണ്ടി പുതിയതായിട്ടുള്ള വഴികൾ എക്സ്പ്ലോർ ചെയ്യുന്നു. സോ ദ ട്രൈങ് ടു ഫൈൻഡ് ഔട്ട് ഇഫ് ദർ ഈസ് എ ന്യൂ വേ ടു ഡിറ്റക്ട് if a person has got any respiratory disorder. And I have stressed a particular point while I was reading the whole paragraph before in the middle portion. They have said it clearly that the aim is to develop tests that are as accurate as an expert clinical assessment but do not need a clinical examination or other investigations such as x-rays to be performed. Our line il thanne clear aanu endu ee clinical trial inde uddesham endaanennulla karyam vyaktamayittu parayunnundu pudiyoru വഴി കണ്ടുപിടിക്കുക എന്തെങ്കിലും ഡിസോർഡർ ഉണ്ടോ ഇല്ലയോ എന്നുള്ള കാര്യം. സോ ഇറ്റ് ഹാസ് എ ചാൻസ്. വി കാൺട്ട് കൺഫേം ഇറ്റ് ഈവൻ ദോ ഇറ്റ് ലുക്സ് ലൈക്ക് ദ ബെസ്റ്റ് ആൻസർ. വി കാൺട്ട് കൺഫേം ഇറ്റ് ബിക്കോസ് വി ഗോട്ട് ടു discuss option C. There is one more option. So let's go through that option as well. The clinical trial is aimed at checking that expert clinical assessments are accurate. This option has got some words which are matching with the words in the paragraph. The exact same line which I have read for the second option, which was option B. So it says the aim is to develop the tests that are as accurate as an expert clinical assessment. So it has got some kind of resemblance, but the entire idea is different there. Option C says this clinical trial is for ensuring the accuracy of other clinical assessment, which is wrong. They are trying to create a test or create certain tests which can be accurate to detect or to find out any disorder or any respiratory disorder in any person. So option C is also wrong. Our right answer for the question is option B. So the answer is the clinical trial is exploring new ways to confirm a person has a respiratory disorder. Now let's move on to the third question. So you may see the third question now. You may pause the video once again to solve it. Now I'll start discussing it. When a GP's patients are entered into the GP notify system, the GP. So we need to find out what the GP has to do when the patients enter into the GP notify system. So let's go through the paragraph, which says GP notify is an automated notification system that informs GPs about patient admission, patient discharge, patient death. When a patient is admitted, discharged or dies, the automated computer system will inform the patient's nominated GP by email or fax of the update. So they are talking about what this GP notify is all about. So it's about it is kind of a notification system where many updates will be given to the respective GP. Then it says GPs will receive an enrollment confirmation the first time such an event occurs. The form needs to be completed and faxed for automated notifications to continue. To receive notification via fax or email, you will receive an enrollment confirmation form the first time an event occurs on one of your patients. So middle portion of this paragraph is about what a GP has to do in order to make sure the notification is being received by that person. Now the last portion says once the form is completed and returned via fax, automated notifications will commence. If your contact details change, notify GP, notify coordinator. Please note that GPs are responsible for ensuring their details are correct and ensuring fax machines or computer systems provide adequate privacy after transmission. So the last part is talking about the responsibilities of GPs. So now let's go through the options. Before that, I believe everybody has read, understood the paragraph. The paragraph il ആദ്യത്തെ പോർഷനിൽ പറയുന്നത് ഇത്രയേ ഉള്ളൂ. ഈ GP നോട്ടിഫൈ സംഭവം എന്താണ്, അത് എന്ത് സിസ്റ്റമാണ്, അതിൽ എന്തൊക്കെയാണ് നടക്കുന്നത്, അതുകൊണ്ട് എന്താണ് ഉദ്ദേശിക്കുന്നത്, അപ്പോൾ അതിന് കൃത്യമായ അപ്ഡേറ്റ്സ് വരും. അപ്ഡേറ്റ്സിൻ്റെ കാര്യങ്ങൾ അവിടെ പറയുന്നുണ്ട്. ഒരു പേഷ്യൻ്റ് അഡ്മിറ്റ് ആകുമ്പം or a patient is discharged or dies, such kind of notifications will be given to the GP. ഇനി അതിനുവേണ്ടി എന്ത് ചെയ്യണം? GPs will receive an enrollment confirmation. അപ്പോൾ അവിടെ എൻറോൾമെൻറ്റ് കൺഫർമേഷൻ ആദ്യം കിട്ടും. ആദ്യമായി ഒരു പേഷ്യൻ്റ് എൻ്റർ ചെയ്യുന്ന സമയത്ത് എന്ത് ചെയ്യണം, അത് തിരിച്ചെന്ത് റിട്ടേൺ ചെയ്ത് എന്ത് കൊടുക്കണം, എന്ത് ഫില്ല് ചെയ്യണം, എന്ത് കംപ്ലീറ്റ് ചെയ്യണം, അങ്ങനെയുള്ള ഡീറ്റെയിൽസ് പറയുന്നുണ്ട്. എന്തിനാണ് പിന്നെ നോട്ടിഫിക്കേഷൻ സ്ഥിരമായിട്ട് വരാൻ വേണ്ടി. ലാസ്റ്റ് പോർഷനിൽ പറയുന്നു GPസിൻ്റെ റെസ്പോൺസിബിലിറ്റീസ് ലൈക്ക് കോൺടാക്ട് ഡീറ്റെയിൽസ് ചേഞ്ച് ചെയ്യുകയാണെങ്കിൽ അത് അപ്ഡേറ്റ് ചെയ്യണം. പിന്നെ പ്രൈവസിയും കാര്യങ്ങളും എല്ലാം എപ്പോഴും GPയുടെ റെസ്പോൺസിബിലിറ്റി തന്നെ ആയിരിക്കണം. Now let's move on to the options. The first option says when a GP's patients are entered into the GP notify system, the GP needs to complete and return a confirmation form by fax to confirm they have received the information. Some of you may think this is the right answer, but it has a problem. Even though it's given in the paragraph, it has a problem because it says GP needs to complete and return a confirmation form by fax to confirm they have received the information. This is something the GP has to do when a patient enters this thing for the very first time in order to get the notifications in the future. This is done only for the first time when the event occurs for the very first time. This is not something that the GP has to do on a regular basis or every single time. So this is not really right because the question is not asking about the first time of the event. The question asks when a GP's patients are entered into GP notify system, the GP. So it's a general question. A notification വരുന്ന സമയത്തുള്ള കാര്യം മാത്രമാണ്. അപ്പം നമ്മളുടെ question specific ആയിട്ട് എടുത്തു ചോദിക്കുക. ഒരു ഇവന്റ് ആദ്യമായിട്ട് ഉണ്ടാകുന്ന സമയത്ത് എന്തായിരുന്നു എന്ന് ചോദിച്ചിരുന്നെങ്കിൽ you may have written option A as the answer, but here this cannot be right, so it is wrong. Let's just eliminate it. Now let's move on to option B, where it says when a GP's patients are entered into the GP notify system, the GP gets notification via email or fax unless it is the first time one of their patients has been entered into the GP notify system, which is exactly what I explained for the previous option. അപ്പം ആദ്യത്തെ വെട്ടം ഒരു ഇവന്റ് ഉണ്ടാകുന്ന അല്ലാത്ത എല്ലാ കേസിലും എന്ത് ചെയ്യുന്നു? എന്തെങ്കിലും ഒരു സംഭവം നടക്കുമ്പോൾ എന്തെങ്കിലും ഒരു ഇവന്റ് നടക്കും. അത് എന്ത് ഇവന്റും ആകാം, അഡ്മിഷൻ ആകാം, ഡെത്ത് ആകാം, ഡിസ്ചാർജ് ആകാം, അങ്ങനെയുള്ള എന്ത് ഇവന്റ് ആണെങ്കിലും അതിൻ്റെ നോട്ടിഫിക്കേഷൻ ഇവർക്ക് കിട്ടിക്കൊണ്ടേയിരിക്കും. ആദ്യത്തെ വട്ടം നോട്ടിഫിക്കേഷൻ അല്ല കിട്ടുന്നത്. ആസ് പെർ ദ പാരഗ്രാഫ് ഫോർ ദ ഫസ്റ്റ് ടൈം ദേ ആർ ഗോണ ഗെറ്റ് ആൻ എൻറോൾമെന്റ് ഫോം ദർ വിച്ച് ദേ ഹാവ് ടു കംപ്ലീറ്റ്. ഓൾറൈറ്റ്, സോ ദേ വിൽ ബി ഗെറ്റിംഗ് notifications every single time after that. So B has a chance here. Let's move on to option C. Option C says when a GP's patients are entered into the GP notify system, the GP faxes or emails the GP notify coordinator to confirm they have received the message. This is something which is clearly not given because there is no such thing mentioned anywhere here that whenever they get a notification, they have to confirm that they have gotten it. There is no such detail given anywhere in the paragraph. There is one point about GP notify coordinator in the last part, but that's totally different scenario because there it says if your contact details change, notify the GP notify coordinator. So it's a different situation there, it's a different information, has no connection with option C. Option C basically not given ആണ്. ഇവിടെ പറഞ്ഞേക്കുന്നു ഫാക്സസ് or ഇമെയിൽസ് എന്ത് ചെയ്യണം? ഒരു നോട്ടിഫിക്കേഷൻ വരുമ്പം GP ഉടനെ തന്നെ തിരിച്ചൊരു ഫാക്സോ ഇമെയിലോ അയക്കണം. എന്തിന്? എനിക്കൊരു നോട്ടിഫിക്കേഷൻ കിട്ടി എന്നുള്ള കൺഫർമേഷൻ. അങ്ങനെ ഒരു ഇൻഫർമേഷൻ ഇവിടെ എങ്ങും കൊടുത്തിട്ടില്ല. So that's a not given. So we can eliminate option A and C clearly. So there will be only one option remaining and that's B. So answer for question number 3 is B. So those were the 3 videos I had planned to explain in today's video. I hope everybody has understood all the 3 questions and the total explanations. If you people have got any doubts, if you want to ask any questions, just share your questions down in the comment section. If you like this video and if you find it beneficial, please don't forget to subscribe and share so that it reaches to a lot of OET aspirants. So see you in another video with another set of questions. Thank you.